Hello horse friends and welcome to the Imperfect Question. Today is Halloween and the Horsemanship West Wales ladies are going to be coming round for some coffee, cake and chat. It is a miserable day outside, so we will pop and see the ponies and see how they're doing, but I don't think I'll be doing any riding today. Possibly I'll go ride tomorrow if it's nicer weather. Find out.
I kinda adore you, but don't get too proud. You're like my favorite snack, I won't say it out loud. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of way that I got.
Here are some of the treats I've got lined up for the lovely horsemanship ladies. Some sweets, because it's Halloween, you just have to have them. Spooky cakes and lovely ghosty bats and pumpkin cookies. Let's go have a look at some of the decorations. And then the ladies arrived.
I have a friend who always checks in, wondering how I've been. I have a friend who always shows up again and again and again. I know when I'm feeling low, I have a friend. I have a friend. I have a friend who always shares through generosity. I have a friend who's a hoot and a half. We laugh, laugh and laugh. Can't wait to see ya. Can't wait to hug ya. I can't wait. Mi amigo, where you go, I go. Mi amigo, if you have to go alone, doesn't mean that I don't care, doesn't mean that I'm not there. It just means I'm gonna love you from here. I have friends, I have friends. They're big and small, short and tall, I love them all. I have friends who are young and old, hearts full of gold. There's a world of feelings when I think about you. Love and loyalty, truth and honesty. Can't wait to see ya. Can't wait to hug ya. I can't wait. It'll be so great. It's a day with you.
Here are the ponies. It's actually stopped raining for a minute as well, although it does keep coming down in really strong bursts outside. So everyone had a really good time this morning, lots of chat. We had some ghost stories that we shared with each other and also some tales of horses that we've had in the past. So I am hopefully going to get for a ride tomorrow, and if I do, I will share it on the end of this video. Well, it's the day after Halloween and we are out for a lovely ride. It's a little bit nearer the sun going down now, so it's getting a bit dusky, but we are going to get back in plenty of time before the sun sets. I've got some fluorescents on, so that's all right. And I had a lovely time yesterday with the ladies who came around, the horsemanship ladies. And in the evening, we had some more friends round for more of like a spooky type party. Woo! The car going past here and just scared her a bit. And we're having a lovely ride now. So I'd like to perhaps have a quick chat about how my confidence is doing at the moment. As you can see, I admit she just jumped at a car at the end, but you know, she's walking around. This is a lane we don't do very often, and it's been very quiet. We've not had any cars most of the way, and all of a sudden one just jumps across at the end. It's going to scare her. But other than that, her confidence is coming up quite a lot more out riding. My confidence is coming up quite a lot more out riding. I'm a bit more willing to go to the places that we don't go very often and see if there's a problem. It's not bothering me as much. And also, the other day, there was a lovely lady off one of my previous videos on Facebook that actually noticed that our journey has been improving and did say some very kind words to me. So thank you very much for those words to that lady. And, you know, this support and encouragement from people like that really does help me continue with my confidence journey. And the more confident I can get, the more confident JJ can get. Hold on, we've got a junction. Okay, let's turn. Good girl. So yeah, we'll just keep progressing like that. I've been invited out on a ride with some friends, as long as the weather's fair enough in a couple of weeks. So hopefully we'll get to do a group ride. There should be a few of us in that ride. So it'll be, I think, oh no, we did the Pass Wide and Slow ride once, which had a lot of horses. But other than that, this will be the next biggest ride. She keeps slipping a little bit on the moss in the middle. I keep trying to keep her out the way, but she's a bit funny on it. Never mind. Sometimes she keeps liking it because I think she thinks it's softer, but then she kind of trips a little bit on her feet because it's slippy. So let me tell you about yesterday. So our evening party for Halloween is a little bit more serious, spooky stuff. So, you know, we'll try a Ouija board, which, you know, don't necessarily recommend if you're not used to using them. They do, you might not believe in them, but whether you believe in them or not, you really should put some protection on before to open up, just in case there's any bad spirits that come along, and also close down properly after, just to keep your own home and the area that you work in safe. But we had a Ouija board out, so we had there was 8 of us all together at the party in the evening, and we all had a go, and actually we got some really good messages through. There was some of my friends' grandmas, and a granddad of one of my friends as well came through, and they gave some lovely messages, like they wanted to pass on to someone that they loved them and all that kind of thing. So we had some really good things with that. We also had a bit of a thing as well called table tipping. So some of the party last night were previously non-believers, and obviously when you do a Ouija board, you can't necessarily, unless you get very specific information. I usually say to people, come have a go, and you know, you're going to feel like people are pushing the planchette or the coin or whatever you use around the board. It's just going to feel like someone else is doing it. But don't judge, just go with the feeling of it. And, you know, it's only when it starts working properly, which it doesn't always. Sometimes it hardly moves at all, or doesn't move that day, or you'll get a load of gobbledygook, as they say, like it'll just do meaningless letters or funny words over and over again. But as long as it's actually starting to make a bit of sense, then you can start asking it questions. And if you ask it questions, you can ask a question that only you know the answer to. And if it gives you the correct answer, and you know that you weren't pushing the planchette, then it gives you a bit of trust in the process that at least something a little bit out of the ordinary and a bit paranormal is happening there. Well, we also did table tipping. So at this point, we'd still got some members that didn't quite, because they hadn't had a message, and they'd perhaps tried to be a bit too specific with asking certain people to come forward on the board, which you can't really do that. You have to wait and see who wants to come through. I mean, you can ask, but you're not necessarily going to find out that someone comes through like that. So we moved on to table tipping. Now, if you've not heard of table tipping before, you can use any table, but my Ouija board actually happens to be a little glass table. And what you do is you'll put your fingertips on top of the table, just your fingertips resting on top on the edge, and as many people as you've got all the way around. And you just ask, instead of moving the planchette around, you ask the spirit to start moving the table around. And if it works, then the table can start kind of sliding on the floor, or it can literally, they call it table tipping because it can literally rock and tip. And what we had yesterday was it was actually very active, which I can only presume is literally because it's Halloween, and they say the veil between the spirit world and our world is at its thinnest on Halloween. So it was very active yesterday, and this table started sliding all over the place, so we had to move the chairs out of the way so that people could follow it around, and it would take them into different rooms and things like that, sliding around, which even though everyone's hands are on top of it, it's very difficult to slide a table. Some people who didn't believe, they were going with it, I'll give them credit for that, but they still didn't necessarily believe that was happening. So asking more for the tipping, there is a good way to test if table tipping works or not, is usually you can kind of let go to some extent. Not everybody let go fully, that doesn't usually work, but you can let go to some extent if the table starts tipping. Now the table did tip and lifted up on its legs really quite dramatically, so it was just probably about a 45-degree angle. So then the only way you could physically be doing that is either to lift the board, which everybody's got their hand on top so you can't be lifting the board, or to push very strongly down on the bottom side. So when that happens, what we did was we asked everybody who had their hands on the bottom edge to completely remove their hands. So they did, and then the people with their hand on the top edge can then apply some pressure as if they're pushing it down. Now sometimes it will go back down, but you'll feel a little bit of resistance. But yesterday they were actually trying to push it down and it just wouldn't go back down again. So that was the point at which some of the non-believers did actually start believing a bit more. So that was good, that, you know, because I've obviously, as I've said before, I've grown up in a haunted house, so I don't really get any choice about believing. So when I can get some other people to see that at the very least there's some things that we can't explain in this world, then that makes me a bit happier as well. Oh, look, we've got a big puddle coming up. See how she feels about this. Lovely, just striding through it. She's having a good look at it. Splishy splosh. Good girl, JJ. Oh, she saw a juicy bit of grass and she thought she might go for, and it's actually flowing off the field, so it's almost like a mini river puddle. Very good, JJ, well done. Very proud of her there. See how confident she's becoming? We have got a bit of a forward walk, which is partially because we're heading towards home, and also it is a little bit of tension. We have to acknowledge that with her as well. But she's doing really, really well. There's a field down here that some of the previous rides we've had, there's been dogs running up and barking at the edge, but the dogs are actually not out today. They've probably been out running earlier today, so we've had about one car pass us on this lane as we were coming out, but that's about it really. A few more cars on the main road just as we were leaving, but we'll see what it's like when we get back there. So back to last night. So we were coming up, another spooky thing that happened last night is we were coming up towards midnight, and literally, I mean, this is probably not spooky, but it was just the timing and the coincidence just made it seem very dramatic. We were all kind of in the midst of Ouija boarding and table tipping and things like that, and I was saying how I wasn't entirely sure if it would work past midnight because of it being all bit of a bump in the road. I told you to look out for the bump in the road. Tripped over again. All Hallows Eve. No, not All Hallows Eve. All Saints Day, that's it, on the day after. So I wasn't sure if that kind of closed the veil or something. I wasn't sure what would happen. Off the moss, JJ, you keep chipping over. So what happened at midnight, almost literally exactly on the dot, was there was some huge cracks of thunder and lots of lightning. And the lightning obviously is quite scary, all that coming at midnight, especially when you're watching the time and you're like, oh, it's nearly midnight and it's 1 minute to midnight, and then all of a sudden it's like big cracks of thunder and lightning. And also there was dramatic hailstorm, which often with thunder and lightning you do get hail, don't you? But it was coming down so strong and hitting all the windows, so it got really, really loud in the front room as well. So that, I don't think that was necessarily spooky, but the timing was just like a bit dramatic with what we were doing. And then also as well, sometimes we get our smoke alarm goes off for no reason at all in the night. And she, well, not she, so I'm thinking, looking at JJ there. And in the night, she's kind of moving a bit like she wants to trot out a bit. So I let her trot out 10 minutes. She's kind of got that half moving into trot motion. And in the night, at about 4:30 in the morning, our smoke alarm went off. And it did do this the day before as well. And it's not usually actually anything setting it off, but that kind of spooks me out quite a bit when that does that. Right, I'm going to let her go forward and trot. So she goes, do you want to trot? There we are. She wanted to drop. Good girl. Good girl. But that was about it for all the spooky shenanigans happening on Halloween. But that was really good for, a gathering. Oh, no, that's it. That's all the trot we've got, is it? Okay, good girl. But yeah, that's about it for all the Halloween shenanigans that we had. And I've got a rather exciting trip to the dentist this week, which is a bit of a letdown after all the Halloween fun, and a lovely weekend obviously getting out on JJ for a nice ride today as well. But that's just how life is, unfortunately. I think that's it. So we're just out on our ride now, and we're nearly back down by the main road. I think it's 1 or 2 bends away. So I'll probably cut forward in a minute to just where we're connecting with the road, so you can see how she gets on with the traffic down there. So we're just coming back onto the more main road section now. This is where there's, from the left and carrying straight on, there's actually a regular flow of traffic through here. And I can actually hear now all the dogs from that farm we passed. So they must have just been let out for their evening run. JJ can hear them. She's like, what is going on? It's like basically letting a kennel's worth of dogs out into a field, and they all just start barking and baying. So it just started up really loud. So she was like, what's going on a bit? So we'll see if we see any cars come past us now. I can hear one coming up behind me, but because the main route to one of the big towns is left, they might go that way instead of this way, but we'll see in a minute. I can't tell which way they're going to go. Yeah, they're coming up this way, so we're going to have a car pass us in a second. Just coming up a little bit nearer, so I shall tell them they can come past. Thank you. It's a little bit narrow down this lane, so it is very difficult for them to get over as much as technically they should, but most people do generally go past as wide as they can. Right, we're nearly home, so I'm going to have another little trot. Good girl. Good girl. And it will get us past a little bit of this narrow bit as well. Good girl. Some birdie on the road. I think that's a robin. There we are. I can hear some more cars coming, so we'll see some more in a minute before we finish on this road. It'd be good if we get to a slightly wider point if we can. Got one coming up in a minute. She's going to run out of steam in a sec. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Well done. Oh. Right, good girl. I can hear it approaching, and there's one in front as well. So anyway, whilst they're going past, I hope that you've kind of enjoyed this video. It's been a bit of a mix of things. Thank you. I think I saw them earlier coming out, those people. We've had a bit of see what's been going on with the horsemanship ladies. Ooh, lots of snorting. And I don't know if they're waiting because they don't want to come past me, or if they're worried about the corner. We shall see. Good girl. Let's see. Thank you. Oh, another one coming up as well. They'll probably be a bit reluctant on the corner to go past us, so they'll probably wait till we get round it. But yeah, we've had some time with the horsemanship ladies, having a bit of a Halloween get together, and saw all the horses in the barn whilst the rain was a bit bad yesterday. And then you've heard some of my tales of the Halloween get together last night. Let's just move over here out the way. Good girl. Safe. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. I was just worried about the corner, that one. And then we've had a bit of a ride out together as well in the evening. You can see how wet it's been and how horrible. Actually, there was a storm. I told you, I think I mentioned this already, but there was a storm, and we really weren't expecting it to be a storm. Didn't really say it was going to be a storm, but there was so much rain yesterday, just so much rain. And then of course with the hail in the evening as well, that was more stormy. Today has not been so bad. Bit of rain, a bit of sun, and hopefully it will be sunshine tomorrow. But yeah, she hears Comanche. Hope you've had a great time. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again next time. Bye. Thank you.